John Deere's underhand tactics that it uses to arm twist American farmers has just been uncovered. These tactics have left the industry shaken to the core and could see the end of the iconic American company. Nothing like this has been experienced before. Farmers are infuriated, politicians are threatening massive repercussions, and investors can leave en masse. In today's episode, we'll look into the hidden controversies that have seriously shaken up Deere's reputation. Stay tuned! It's uncontested that John Deere boasts of producing high-quality agricultural equipment that has supported America's agricultural sector for over a century. It's the kind of quality that has seen many farmers pledge their loyalty to John Deere's equipment, much to the extent of some of these farmers stating that they bleed green, in reference to Deere's theme color. Now, it's become clear that John Deere is fully aware of the love that American farmers have, and instead of reciprocating, has decided to capitalize on it and milk the farmers dry, all in a quest to enhance its bottom line. An analysis of the market has shown that Deere has the most expensive equipment among its competitors. Case in point is that of the tractor category. For example, the John Deere 8R series tractor, offering around 230 to 410 horsepower, usually costs between $300,000 and $500,000, depending on the customizations. In comparison, Case IH's Magnum 340 tractor with similar horsepower generally falls between $270,000 and $350,000, making it a bit more affordable. Similarly, AGCO's Fendt 900 series also falls in this range, typically starting at $350,000 and going up with added features, thus sitting somewhere between the John Deere and Case IH options. The case is the same for combines. Looking at John Deere's X9 series, it's possible to see how the automaker takes advantage of farmer loyalty to its advantage. Now, the X9 series is a top performer. However, it comes with a hefty price tag of between $800,000 and $1.2 million. Case IH offers a more budget-friendly alternative with its 250 series axial flow combines, which range from about $600,000 to $900,000 depending on multiple options. AGCO's Massey Ferguson Ideal combines also provide a more budget-friendlier option for farmers, generally starting around $650,000 and sometimes reaching $1 million for fully equipped models. Now, John Deere's higher pricing strategy has led to some conclusions that it's more fixated on corporate profit than supporting the farming community, with the brand banking on farmers' brand loyalty to justify these high costs. This is just the tip of the iceberg. What has been revealed next is even more shocking. For a very long time, John Deere did not allow farmers to repair their own equipment.
My biggest situation that I can't fix everything, every situation now is, because I don't have, John Deere's service advisor laptop, I can't connect to the equipment. I'm pretty restricted on what I can do as far as the newer equipment.
John Deere had categorically stated that it was against their terms of use for farmers to attempt to repair their equipment without the approval of John Deere. What this meant was that whenever an equipment broke down, a farmer had to inform John Deere, who would then send a technician at the cost of the farmer to repair the equipment. Farmers complained of losses they incurred whenever their equipment lay idle waiting for technicians to come and fix their equipment. One farmer from Monticello in central Illinois was quoted saying, "If I knew what sensor was bad in that combine, I could have had it fixed in 5 minutes. But if you don't have the software, it's impossible to know what's wrong." After being called out for this policy, Deere finally became more accommodative to the farmers.
Deere is giving farmers the long-sought right to repair agricultural equipment on their own. The agreement follows years of lawsuits and complaints. The new deal announced yesterday means farmers can diagnose and fix their John Deere tractors without using company parts or facilities.
As it turns out, John Deere was initially reluctant to allow farmers to repair their own equipment due to the massive revenue it was raking in for these repairs. Findings show that Deere earned somewhere between 3 to 6 times more monies on repairs than on actual sales of equipment. And to add insult to injury, it's now becoming apparent that, after all, John Deere could be unwilling to honor their side of the bargain. According to a letter from Senator Elizabeth Warren, Deere is making it impossible for farmers to repair their own equipment as it has not yet updated its manuals to offer the much-needed guidance for farmers. Warren has accused Deere of attempting to create a monopoly by failing to play its part in ensuring that farmers can now repair their equipment. Her statement captures her frustration with Deere when she says, rather than uphold their end of the bargain, John Deere has provided impaired tools and inadequate disclosures. In addition to costing farmers time and money, this refusal to provide meaningful right to repair likely indicates that John Deere may be violating the Clean Air Act by restricting repair of its products' emission systems. Not to forget that the automaker has set an astronomical price range for the spare parts of its equipment. Aside from making it difficult for farmers to repair their own equipment, John Deere has also faced criticism from farmers for being too techy.
Deere leverages a vast tech stack to give our machines superhuman capabilities. This begins with our equipment.
John Deere has for a long time been known as a farm equipment manufacturer. However, in the recent years, the automaker has been on an aggressive innovative journey that has seen it adopt technology in many of its operational fronts. From robotics to artificial intelligence, John Deere is capitalizing on all of that. This also explains why it has increased its research and development, spending by 15% in the last financial year. Now, the increased use of software on John Deere equipment has raised major concerns for farmers regarding data ownership and privacy. Its advanced data-driven farmer equipment collects detailed information on various farming metrics, such as soil quality, crop health, and equipment performance. The major headache here is, who legally owns or controls this data? Is it John Deere, the software providers, or the farmers themselves? A faction of farmers is arguing that the information collected on their fields is proprietary, and it's a representation of years of effort and investment. They worry that without transparency, Deere might leverage or sell this data, potentially compromising competitive advantages for individual farms. Additionally, new partnerships, like Deere's with SpaceX for the use of Starlink Network, which aims to improve equipment connectivity, have heightened privacy concerns. Although this technology promises efficiency gains, it also introduces cybersecurity risks, especially since breaches could expose sensitive operational data or disrupt farming activities during critical periods. And now, it seems that Deere is too focused on the bottom line and nothing will stand in its way, not even calls for sustainable practices. John Deere's environmental practices have come under scrutiny, particularly for sustainability concerns and the implications of promoting pesticide use through their equipment. While John Deere has pledged to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, water use, and waste across its operations, some feel that the automaker could do more in terms of addressing the environmental impact of the chemicals applied with its equipment. For instance, while their precision agriculture technologies like Blue River Technology's See and Spray is effective in limiting herbicides use by targeting weeds more accurately, critics argue that this doesn't entirely address the long-term ecological effects of widespread pesticide reliance in farming. Environmentalists have also questioned whether the automaker's approach to reducing inputs like water and chemicals is sufficient. This is hinged on the fact that they could still encourage monoculture farming and high pesticide application, which some feel could harm biodiversity over time. Additionally, the automaker has set several environmental targets, key among them being recycling 75% of its waste and designing equipment with life cycle sustainability in mind. However, while all these are positive steps, they may not directly address the broader ecological concerns tied to the intensive farming practices, which can degrade soil health and deplete local water resources. It remains what more Deere can do to foster a more sustainable shift toward regenerative agriculture practices that can truly meet sustainable goals. Currently, it's evident that the current initiatives cover only a minute scope of what must be done. In more shocking revelations, John Deere seems to be taking advantage of its existence on the market spanning more than a century to create a behemoth of a monopoly. Here's a shocking fact. As of 2024, John Deere commands over 40% of the market share for tractors and other agricultural machinery in the United States. This kind of market power enables the company to set the tone for equipment prices and repair policies, giving farmers limited options when it comes to choosing and maintaining their machinery. Adding on to its past reputation for restricting farmers' ability to repair their own equipment, often requiring them to go through Deere's official channels for any software or mechanical fixes. It goes without saying that they're doing all in their power to monopolize the market. In addition to that, Deere's heavy investment in mergers and acquisitions, rather than in developing new technology independently, further stifles competition. When Deere identifies a competitive threat, instead of upping the ante on innovation, it's more likely to acquire it, which consolidates its position even more and decreases competitive pressures that would typically drive technological advancements in the industry. For both the farmers and the industry at large, this translates to fewer alternatives and higher operational costs, all while Deere continues to prioritize shareholder profits and total market dominance over customer flexibility. These secrets could hurt Deere eventually, but the good thing is that there's still time for the company to make things right. Subscribe for more.